When students go and make their first base level felt, they're going to need to have some templates to trace depending upon which style of banner you're going with. Now we offer them 2 options. Of course, you could have more than 2 options, but the sizing is what you want to keep in mind. And then the other thing you want to keep in mind is you really want the template to be symmetrical. So the 2 that we offer are the Spanish round and the badge template. It's best to make these out of poster board. You could do one color for one particular style and another color for another, or you can make them all the same color and just kind of number them. This is maybe all of these are number 1, all of these are number 2. You can simply tell a student, grab the number 1 template, grab the number 2 template. Although in all fairness, students should be able to figure out what template they need just based off of the diagram that they've created. You're gonna get a similarly shaped template. When you create the first template, the best way to get it symmetrical is to actually fold your poster board in half. And then after you've cut out that initial template that is symmetrical, then just use that template to trace new templates on the poster board. So I'll demonstrate here making the template for the first time. The other thing you want to keep in mind is you really don't want your templates to be longer than 18 inches because the typical length of felt is 6 feet, and that will allow you to get 4 pieces of the base template out of the felt. And if you go any larger than that, then you will get fewer than 4, and it would either make your felted use inefficient or potentially extravagant. So, taking your poster board here, and to make the initial template, one side is kind of a glossier side. I'm going to use the opposite here. So I'm just going to fold it in half. And these will need to be replaced over time because they do take a fair amount of abuse from the students. So just using my initial template here. And of course you could measure just with the cutting mat, but I'm just gonna make sure that I've got like that halfway point there to a certain extent. The key thing is that you kind of want it to be symmetrical. So now with that in place, I'm gonna go ahead and trace my template. This is an Alpha knife box cutter. You could of course use a pair of scissors. So now to make subsequent templates, all I would simply do is trace this template here. Should be pretty similar to the one that I used initially. It's a little bit bigger. So I could decide to alter it. If you wanted to alter it, now would be the time. And it's possible that my initial template wasn't completely symmetrical here. Which actually I could tell just by folding it in half. It's actually pretty good. It is a little bit larger here. I think I might trim down the side. And again, with it folded in half, so whatever alteration I make, it still will remain symmetrical because it is a little bit bigger than the one I was going off of. So I'm still confident that it's symmetrical. Compare it to the original. And again, if you're doing this for the first time, you won't have an original. So the key thing is just making sure it's gonna fit on your felt. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna reproduce this. Now I'll reproduce this just by tracing that onto the poster board and then cutting it out. That way they don't all have this folded area here. And for a class of 30 students, you probably want to have about 8 to 10 of each. And then over time, you'll have to replace them. They'll get dinged up and won't quite be working as well. Same exact process for this shape. This shape's gonna be a little bit harder to cut out, but I'll find the halfway points. I'll fold the poster board in half, trace it, cut it out, make sure it's correct, it's the way that I want it, and then I'll take that and trace it on poster board and reproduce it again and again and again. So having templates, this will allow students to make that initial felt that they'll need for the base level. If you've pre-cut your sections for students, you do want to, of course, confirm that your template does in fact fit on those sections. That is really critical. Obviously, the template has to be smaller than the initial felt that they're working with. So good luck creating your templates. Bye for now.